This is a review of William Shakespeare's The Tempest. First thing I have to mention is that William Shakespeare's The Tempest is one of his most original plays. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, all those other plays that you think are Shakespeare plays. Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, Macbeth. All of those are actually based on different stories. Romeo and Juliet is actually based on another story with a similar name. Macbeth, well, it's based on history. It's based on history, actually. This one, he actually got it from a literal historical book about the history of England and Scotland. And there was this guy named Macbeth. He was actually pretty honorable, the quite opposite of his own character. But he decided to be like, hey, you know what? He will make a pretty good villain. And for Hamlet, well, Hamlet, it's just a classic story during that time. Shakespeare decided to just weave it into an original story. Regardless, though, here's how it goes. In The Tempest, we go ahead and find some very original characters that explore kind of very original themes. Colonization is mainly symbolized by the character Caliban, who we're not pretty sure if he's a human or monster. I'll call him a humonster. No, better yet, humster. The Tempest itself even starts off with a tempest. For those English nerds out there, a tempest is basically just another word for very big storm. And that tempest is really important to the story because it's the thing that shipwrecked the actual place, the sailors and the royal people who were coming back to Milan from the king's daughter's wedding in in Africa. Prospero decided to be bad boy and go ahead and, well, teach them all a pretty good lesson. All those transitions and in between those scenes and all the transitions between character types, all of that actually go ahead and show the multifaceted parts of William Shakespeare's The Tempest. Now, you might be wondering, why am I not telling you why should I read this book? That's how it all goes here. Well, that's what's going to happen now. Now, why should you read this book? Well, Prospero himself, it's kind of magical. If you like magic, you're definitely going to like this play. But also, it goes ahead and explores the themes of colonization, including purity, curiosity, and even a little bit of vengeance. All those things go ahead and get into this. And they're all pretty much represented by different characters. Prospero does a pretty good job of representing the vengeful guy. I mean, he does use his magic powers for the benefit of himself, which is not necessarily always the good thing. Miranda, pretty much the only female human character in the play, is really gullible due to the fact that she has never been living with humans for her entire life. There's a lot that we actually don't know about these guys as well, too, so she goes ahead and uses her curiosity, but sometimes that's not always good. Caliban, you remember the actual raging demon monster we showed earlier? Well, he goes ahead and represents a bunch of the colonization themes. Not to mention the backstabbers, remember those guys? The ones who tried to kill the king so this guy can become king? And this guy doesn't have to pay money anymore? Even by to the end of the play, we are pretty sure we can say that they've never learned a lesson in this play at all. Why did I read this play? Well, firstly, two things. It's a requirement for school. Secondly, it's actually really goddamn fun. It's also a really good conclusion towards the bard's life, where Shakespeare himself, this was basically his last performed play. Of course, he also wrote other classics, he wrote other plays after this that were probably performed after that, but he was retired by then. This was the last play, well, arguably the last play that was performed in his life. Now, it would technically have to be that Henry, that some other play, but that doesn't count because during the performance, well, the Globe Theatre burned down. Which is never a good thing if your own theater is burning down. Regardless, so this will be a classic conclusion towards his Prospero's breaking of his magic staff, boom. And throwing away his magic books also symbolizes William Shakespeare's decision to go ahead and say, you know what? I've wrote enough plays, enough things for a lifetime. it's time for me to go ahead and get a little retirement. Sadly, he only had retirement for 3 years before he died. And so in the end, that's why you should read William Shakespeare's The Tempest. I would give it 10 out of 10 Shakespeare points, if there was a thing called Shakespeare points. But, until next time, fellow folks and audiences, I'll see you guys soon. Clap, clap, clap for me to free myself from this video, or else I'll be stuck in this video forever. That's just a variation on Prospero's line at the epilogue. You will get it if you read this play. Until then, shut out, peace. Bye-bye!